Hi there, Mary Beth Schmidt Merlo.
Good morning. I'll be right with you.
So how are you, Mary Beth? Thanks for joining in. So welcome. This is a foundational yoga class. So let's take a moment, close the eyes, go inside. Just feel what you feel. Become the observer. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then lower your chin to your chest, letting the head hang, and then begin your half circles. And take that right into a full circle. And reverse that. And then bring your head back to center and look from side to side. And then roll your shoulders. So Mary Beth, you're the farthest one away from us right now. I think you said you're out on the lake somewhere. And this morning at my 7 a.m. class, I had someone from England and someone from France. Two people I know who checked in. They're about 6 or 7 hours ahead of us. You might be like a minute ahead of us, Mary Beth. All right, so spinal wave while you are seated. Make sure you're breathing with your movement. You're exhaling as you round, going into cat. You're inhaling as you open up, going into cow. And then come back to center. And we're going to twist. And we're going to twist both directions. Just continuous movement here. Not trying to go too deep. That'll come as you open up here. And then come back to center. And take your hands onto your thighs. So we're really going to be kind of on the inner / top of the thighs, way up. So the fingers are pointing towards the knees. The palm heels are right where the hips are. So you're right at the top of the leg. And what you're going to start to do is you're going to start to press your hands down. Your shoulders are going to lift up. And then try to straighten your arms out and bring your shoulders back and down. See, if you can straighten your arms, you may not be able to, probably will not be able to, but you're creating length in your spine, and then release. Okay. I'm going to move back onto my mat. Come on onto your back. Bottoms of the feet are on the mat. Now, this is what we're going to do. Walk your feet forward, about a foot. But the bottom of the feet are still on the mat. And then press your low back down and then release it. And press it down and release. And keep doing that. Press, release, press, release, press, release. That fast. So if your feet are far enough away from your hips, it's a little more effort to use the leg muscles to press the lower back down. And I want you to stop using your leg muscles and just use your abdominal muscles to press the lower back down to the mat and then release it. So it's all abs. Relax your legs entirely. Now press your lower back down and keep it down. And then lengthen the rest of your spine. So kind of wiggle your shoulders up without hiking your shoulders up to your ears. Just lengthen the spine along the mat. Press the low back down even more now. Press it down until you feel yourself shaking. It's going to be really tiny tremors. Now, lift your left foot barely. Can you feel that? Set it down. Lift your right foot. The left foot is not pressing down, it's still light. Set that foot down. Walk your feet in. Walk your feet in that foot that you walked them away. Lift your left foot. Barely lift it up. Right foot is like a feather. Press that low back down. Set the foot down. Switch. Right foot lifts up. The left foot is light. Set it down. It's easier when the feet are in closer. Walk your feet forward about 6 inches. Now, take your arms in goalpost. So you're not using your arms whatsoever. Lift both, press your lower back down, lift both feet up. You should be shaking right off the bat. Set your feet down. Pick up both feet again. Lower back stays glued to the mat. Set them down. Take your feet, bring them right next to each other, and then take your knees wide. Left knee to the left, right knee to the right. So you're in butterfly, you're really more so in diamond pose. Lower back will lift up. So you're not concerned about pressing that down. Bring your knees up and together. Take both legs in a 90-degree angle. So you lift your feet up so that the shins are parallel to the floor. Make sure your knees are not doing this. They're not coming in closer to you. The knees are right over the hips. Let your lower back remain lifted up. This is very doable. Keeping your knees at 90 degrees, your hips at 90 degrees, your upper legs at 90 to your hips. Keep them right where they are and press your lower back down to the mat. Knees, in other words, do not come in any closer. Press them down, press the lower back down stronger. Stronger yet. Take your left leg and reach it parallel to the floor. Bring it back in. Switch. Bring it back in. Set your feet down. Release the lower back. You guys feeling that? Out there in La La Land, at home? I hope so. Alright, take both legs straight up. Take your hands and walk them up your legs towards the ceiling, which is really down your legs. And grab the back of your ankles or your calves and pull those legs towards where the top of your head is. If you want, you can lift your head, your neck, your shoulders. And then bend your knees and wrap your arms around. Now take your arms to the insides of your legs and come into Happy Baby. And it's here where we are going to work on stretching out the back of the legs. So straighten your legs up and then bend them and then straighten them and bend and continue to move. So you're generating some heat and warming up those muscles through the movement. Now straighten the legs as best you can and take your legs wide. Bring the legs together. Take them wide again. Together. Open them up. Together, release your hands back into goalpost. Take the legs straight up. Lower the left leg towards the mat, front of the mat, and then heel touches, lift it back up. Nice and slow, switch. And then every time the leg comes up, the other one goes down. And if you want to add to this, keep your lower back pressed to the mat. Do not let it lift up. If you want to add to this, you can do both legs at the same time. Lower back can lift up. But if this is too easy, lower back comes down, stays glued to the mat. So try that. See if you can keep your lower back to the mat. Hug the knees in, wrap your arms around, gently roll from side to side. And in doing so, you're massaging the back body. Now from here, take your knees to the right. Take your left arm to the left. Right hand on the outer left knee. Your gaze is towards the left of the direction of your torso. Since your torso is turned to the right a little bit, since you brought your knees to the right, you want to turn the torso to the left and the head to the left. Now even if the head is looking, your eyes are looking straight up because your head is facing straight up, you're still twisted with the knees to the right, torso to the left. Now come back to center. And that was a nice, easy, gentle twist. Bring the knees over to the left, all the way down. Keep the knees together. Left hand on the outside of the right knee. Right arm reaching out to the right. And you're welcome to move that arm. I'm always moving the right arm or the left arm on the other side. Come on back, onto your back. Bring the knees in, gently roll side to side once again. Now, extend your arms overhead along the floor. The legs, reach them straight out on the floor. And then inhale the arms straight up overhead towards the ceiling. Exhale, roll all the way up. And come into Paschimottanasana, forward bend. Now inhale here, lifting up. Exhale, roll all the way down. You inhale the arms up and exhale all the way up. Inhaling, exhaling to roll down. Do 3 more. Stay in your forward bend, your Paschimottanasana. Just settle in here. Breathe. Relax into the pose. Now come on up. Bring your feet together, bottoms of your feet together into Baddha Konasana. And then instead of keeping your feet right here, bring them forward about a foot and a half. And then start to come forward. Maintain that long, integuous spine until you cannot anymore and you need to round. Now I like to take my hands, my arms underneath my legs and take my hands to the tops of the feet and draw myself down.
Just relax and hang out. And then come on back up. Shake your legs out. Alright, so from here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep the right leg straight, bring the left foot in to the inside of the right leg, where it normally would come in as you draw the foot in. Take your right hand down and reach the left arm up. Try to put some more weight back into that right glute. Reach up, reach up, reach up. And then exhale and reach forward. And grab onto your ankle or your foot or your toes. Keep that right knee, or rather that left knee, in. Try to keep it right next to that shoulder. And draw yourself deeper. Now, if you can, you take your upper arm to the front of the shin. But if you're not far enough forward, you can't do that. If you're not deep enough in your forward bend, you're not going to be able to. So you just keep grabbing on to that right leg. But if you're able to, you can take the upper arm to the shin and apply pressure so that you come forward even more. If anyone wants to, you wrap your forearm to the outside of that shin, or that left leg, I should say. And you take your right hand and you reach back and you clasp your hands. This all has to do with how deep you can get into your forward bend. If you're tight, you're not going to get to this. You're going to stay where you are. And that's all right, because you're still working a stretch. And then come on back up. Straighten out that left leg. Do any massaging necessary to the joints, to the muscles. Then bring that right foot in. Left hand comes down this time. Try to bring your left hand right to the left of the hip, because this is going to force you to use abdominal muscles and torso muscles. Take your left arm, or your right arm, and reach it up. Now, this is strengthening your left psoas muscle, way up here on top. Especially if you take that left hand and lift it up, and sit up tall, and bring that right knee in. Can you feel this? And now exhale and reach forward. Grab onto what you can. If you have to take your right knee and open it up so that you can get forward and then bring that knee in closer again, do that. Keep going deeper in your fold, but move according to your level of flexibility. Do not push. Sit up tall in Dandasana, staff pose. Just sit there, legs in front of you, pressing the knees down, keeping the heels connected. Lift up through the sternum. Open up. Reach through the crown of the head, the top of the head, up. And reach through that triangle at the bottom, the sits bones and the tailbone. Now, you're really not on the tailbone. You're kind of sitting, if you are flexible enough, you're rolling forward on your sits bones. If you're tight in the back of the legs and the lower back, You're not going to be able to roll forward and get into proper alignment. So that's when you bend your knees. You bend your knees. Everyone put one hand behind their back. Take this part of the hand and touch the back, lower back, right above. You're touching the sacrum lumbar area. Now, straighten your legs. Try to sit tall. Bend your knees and feel how that lower back moves forward, moves towards the belly button. Now, just to sit up tall, you're activating these muscles here, the quad muscles, the psoas muscles, and more abdominal muscles just to sit tall. So staff pose is one of the most subtly deceiving poses in yoga. It looks like you're doing nothing, but you're actually doing something. As you are in every pose. Take your legs wide. Now, even if you're tight, bring your hands forward. And if you had to do this, try to watch my torso, I don't know if it'll show. If you had to do this, kind of bring your shoulders or your upper torso down, that means you rounded. But if you can do this, just lean forward as though you're rolling forward on your sits bones. So I don't need you to come forward too far with your hands, but just enough where you feel a stretch, back of the legs, inside of the legs. So, now, this is where you just move your pelvis. My shoulders aren't moving, okay? It's the lower body, lower torso rather, and hips that are just rolling forward, rolling back. And again, inner thighs, inner legs, get this. So I've always talked about you guys bringing in a book or a magazine, and you're at home now, so you have them. So this is what you do. You start reading, not during my class, but you start reading, and you get into this, and you start dropping down, and you start getting real comfortable because you're so into whatever you're reading that you forget about the stretch. But this is how I always used to stretch when I was 16 and 17 and 18 years old. When I first started martial arts, I'd get into something, or I'd get out a school book, I'd read whatever. And that's why I am the astrophysicist that I am today. Not. All right, sit up, bring the legs in, shake them out. Bring your knees in, straighten out the legs. Bring the knees in, straighten them out. Just slide them along your mat without your hands being down. So you're just bringing some movement to the legs to loosen them up a little bit, but you're giving yourself a little bit of an abdominal, very little abdominal, but some. And start to lean back even more. If you take your arms out in front of you, then you got a counterbalance that makes it easier to not fall back. And take your legs and float them and bring them in and out. Oh, it's much better, much easier on the floor. Now, hug them in. If you feel your upper quads, it's your upper quads and your psoas muscles working. If you felt that just now, just by doing this, so go ahead, do this. Feet are floating. Hug them in. Can you feel them? Wave to me if you can feel them, everybody. All right, grab onto your feet. You're still floating your feet. And then take your left leg out. Bring it back in. Take your right leg out. Bring it back in. Left again, keep it out there. See if you can roll forward on your sits bones. So put your right foot down and roll forward on your sits bones. So you'll be going from here to here. Now, lift that right foot and try not to roll back. I rolled back a little bit, but I'm not all the way back. Now I'm all the way back. I don't want to be there. I want to still have my sits bones in contact. Bring that left foot in and go to the other side. If you can do this, you put that left foot down, you kind of roll forward, and then you pick it up again without rolling back and rounding. If you can do that, your abs are getting stronger. Bring it back in. Take them both out. Bring them back. Take them out and close them. It's hard when you are forward on your sits bones to do this and maintain balance. And from here, stand up without using your hands. Oh, I'm getting warm. I gotta take this outer layer off. So come on up and down off of your heels. Come on up, stay up. Lean to your right. Come back to center, lean to your left. Back to the right again. Notice if you have a stronger side. To the left. Come back to center. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Lift those heels up. Lower down, raise the arms overhead. Come into a forward bend, all the way down. Now take your arms wide, bring your torso halfway up. Come all the way down. Halfway up again, arms wide, and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. We're just going up halfway right now. Keep moving. Now stay down, soften the knees, so round them a little bit. Start to roll all the way up. Come up, take the arms up overhead, look up, clasp your hands, push your palms upward towards the ceiling. Pull the hips back, move them back a little bit, still look up. And then look forward, release. And roll your shoulders a little bit. So, step your right foot forward. About 2 feet, maybe 2.5 feet. It depends on you. It depends on your flexibility. We're going to go into pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. This guy is Parsvakonasana. This is Parsvottanasana. And I remember this only because I look at my toes in this pose. That was my mnemonic. Now the back foot. Since you got the right foot forward, the back foot is between 11 and 12 o'clock. It's not turned out a lot at all. It's hardly turned out. This is a balance pose primarily. So take your hands and either clasp them behind you or grab your elbows behind you. Takes me about a day to get into this. And now lift up. Inhale, open up. Both feet are flat on the mat. The back heel stays down as you come into your forward bend. As you come into your forward bend, that right hip is forward. You want to start to move the hip, the right hip, back. The left hip, the back hip, forward to try to square your hips towards the front. Now lift all the way back up, switch. Take the left foot forward, right foot is back. Once again, it's not a long stance because you want to make sure that back heel stays down. Inhale, open up. Exhaling, lower all the way down into a forward bend. It's key to keep that front leg straight. Work that right back hip forward and the left hip back. Inhale, come all the way up, and then release. And move those arms and those shoulders. Circle, especially if you had your hands behind you. With one arm, release it back, and then the other. All right, let's go into a warrior three pose. So we're going to start with the right foot forward. We're going to step back, very similar to the last pose we were in. Now we can bring our hands here and keep them here as we go into warrior three. We can take our arms out to the sides. We can take them back. We can take them forward because we're going to be horizontal, so we can take them forward. So, bend that front knee, back heel lifts off, lift the back foot, start to straighten the right leg, and lift that back leg, that left leg, parallel to the floor, lift your chest, so it's reaching forward. And then come on back up. That had a wonderfully awful pose there. So switch feet, left foot is forward now. Same thing. Bend that front knee, back heel lifts, back foot lifts. Start to lift that back leg. On back up. There's very little you can do in that pose other than focus and breathe. Okay? Let's come into a simpler one. Tree pose with variations. So lift your left foot, bring the bottom of the foot to the inside of the shin. Never goes onto the knee, no part of that foot touches the knee. And then start to work your balance, get your sternum to lift up. If you want, you can have your arms out for balance. If your balance is there today, you bring your hands to the heart. You take that left knee and you start to move it back behind you so that it's really to the side. If you want, you can grow branches and reach the arms up overhead. Now take the hands back to the heart if you're able to. Bring your knee forward. Take your arms out. Help yourself out for balance. Take your knee to the left. Bring it forward. Do it again. Take it forward. One more time.
forward and set it down. Move around that right leg, that right hip. Might be talking a little bit, but now switch sides. Right foot lifts up, coming into your tree. Make sure the foot is to the side, not on the front of the shin, but to the inside of the shin. Heel is below the, right heel is below the left knee. Move that right knee back, that lifted knee, move it back. Feel free to raise the arms up overhead. Bring the arms back down, take the knee forward. Take the knee out to the right. Forward again. And to the right. Whoa. Bring it forward. One more time. And forward again and down. Alrighty. How you doing? Y'all good? Inhale the arms overhead forward. Exhale into a forward bend with the arms going forward. Inhale, take the arms forward, come up all the way. Now, lower your arms for a moment. This is what you're going to play with. We're going to do this 3 or 4 or 5 times. When you are taking your arms forward as opposed to the sides, going to the side is much, much easier than going forward. When we go forward and we come down into a forward bend, we tend to do this. And the arms precede the torso. That's easy. Everybody can do that. So just watch. You're going to come down and try to keep the arms going back. Okay? And stay in line with the torso. And then when you come up, the arms lead you up. Now I'm so tight in the shoulders, I cannot do that perfectly vertically this way or perfectly horizontally. But I'm working as much as anybody to try to do that. Okay? Inhale the arms forward. Exhale into a forward bend. Inhale, come all the way back up. Back down. Go at your pace. If you got to bend the knees because your lower back is bothering you, then bend the knees. But either way, the core is engaged, actively engaged, because you engaged it, not by default. Do one more. And release. Roll your shoulders. Get a massage afterwards. Roll your neck. Half circles. Look from side to side. Tilt your head to one side and move it forward and back. Go to the other side. Same thing. And then back to center. So come to the top of your mat. I don't know if you face this way when you look at your pad or your phone, or hopefully you guys have a big TV screen you hooked your computer up to and you're not on this small thing. So you're at the top of the mat, okay? Step your left foot back, come into a high lunge. Back heel is up, the back foot is facing perfectly forward, step forward. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Step the right foot back, step forward. Each time we're going to go deeper, step back farther, that is, get our balance, get our torso upright, step forward. Keep going. One side, then the other.
One more on each side. Good job. How you doing? We need two-way communication. Talk to me. All right, so we're going to step our left foot back. Same thing, high lunge, spin the heel down and come into warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Exhale, Parshvakonasana. Triangle, straighten that front leg. Right arm straight down, left arm straight up. Warrior two. Reach the back arm forward, step forward. Right foot steps back to a high lunge. Spin the heel down, warrior two. Peaceful warrior. Exhaling, Parshvakonasana. Triangle pose. Warrior two. Reach the back arm forward, step forward. Palms to the heart, close your eyes. Close your eyes and keep breathing. Notice your breath. Notice your heartbeat. Slow your breathing down. Take your feet shoulder width apart and drop down into a squat. Right into Malasana. So the arms are to the insides of the knees. You're trying to get your heels down. You're trying to keep your feet straight ahead. That doesn't always work. And now lift up through the sternum so you're not rounding the torso as much. And if you want to play with your Bakasana, come up off of the heels, take the palms down. This is your crow pose, where you come forward, you lift your feet up. Or if you're not there, you're just coming forward, squeezing the legs into the arms, and then putting weight onto the hands and arms, taking some of the weight off of the feet. You don't ever have to lift your feet. You just want to get confident in putting weight into your hands. Come on into a downward dog. Lift your heels and lower them. Lift them up again and lower. Now slide forward into plank and bring your feet right next to each other. Engage your glutes. Squeeze your glutes in. So your abs are going to engage and you're actually developing stability here. Keep squeezing, your thighs are engaged. Back into down dog. Releasing, relaxing, keep your feet right next to each other. Now come up high on the balls of the feet. Look forward. Step your left foot forward. Now if it doesn't go all the way forward, that's okay. Step it back. Step your right foot forward. Step it back. Left foot and back. Right foot and back. One more on each side. Left foot forward. Back. And right foot. Back. Come on down onto your knees. Come on into a child's pose actually this time. Make it easy on yourself. Take your knees wider and come down. Come on back up. We'll do one more pose, unless it ends up being 2 or 3 or 4 more. But for right now, you're going to stretch out your quads. And if just sitting here is a stretch, then just sit here. If this is just too much, you put something underneath your glutes to elevate you up a little bit and see if that will work for you. If you can, you take your hands back. And if you can, you walk your hands back. But you do this slowly. The quads, we don't stretch them much. We don't stretch them nearly as much as we try to stretch our hamstrings. So go slow with this. And then bring yourself back up. Roll your hips to one side or the other. Bring your legs in front of you. Do a little massage, even if you don't need it. Massage the quads. Massage the knees, the kneecaps. We'll really work the bony part of tops of the knees, the patella, the sides of the knees, inside and out. Don't worry, you're getting not only bone, you're getting tissue here. And then go all the way down your shins. And if you want to bend your knees, just to reach your feet, go into your feet. Start massaging your feet as strongly as you can. Get to the toes and work those guys. Get every single toe and squeeze them as hard as you can. Not just to squeeze them, but massaging while working them pretty deep. If you find any tender areas, then lighten it up and keep working it. Even if it's barely a touch. Since you're paying attention to what you're doing, supposedly you're not in, your mind is not somewhere else, then you're sending energy to your toes if you're paying attention to your toes. Energy follows attention, so stay present, stay focused. All right, shake your hands out, your arms out. Lay down on your mat for Shavasana.
Get as comfortable as you can. Nestle your shoulder blades underneath. Lengthen your spine. Put something underneath your knees if you have low back issues. Allow your physical body to totally let go and release. Stay focused. You find that you're wandering, bring yourself back to a point, a singular point of focus. Now move your head from side to side. Move your fingers and wiggle your toes. Bend your elbows. Draw one knee in and then the other. And then roll to your right side to a comfortable fetal position. If you need, put a pillow underneath your head or a blanket or something you have that's comfortable. Come on up to a seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart, to your heart center, the fourth chakra, your balancing center. Take a moment here. Feeling gratitude towards yourself for the practice you just did. thank you everybody for your time. Namaste. Have a blessed day. See you again next time. Yabba dabba doo.